Hello and welcome. Our top story is from Uganda. Yoweri Museveni has been re-elected as the country's president. His victory was not surprising. The entire country saw it coming. At the age of 81, Museveni has won a seventh term. He has been in power since 1986. That's 4 decades. And with his latest victory, he will be in power for the next 5 years. Museveni won by a landslide with nearly 72% of the votes, while his only significant opponent, Bobi Wine, took nearly 25% of the vote. In his victory speech, Museveni called his opponents terrorists. He accused them of trying to violently overturn the election result.
I congratulate the people of Uganda. I ask the confused people to come back to sanity, because what they are planning, what they wanted to do, we already know, and we have already mobilized together with the people. Much of it, the residual should stop, because we know we shall get all of them if they don't stop.
Well, Museveni's much-expected victory has triggered mixed reactions. On one hand, Museveni's supporters were seen celebrating his re-election.
I'm really very happy and glad seeing that for this time he has won at a higher percentage even compared to what he won with last time. And this victory comes because of his hard work and dedication and commitment towards the people of Uganda. He has given freedom of speech, of worship, of interaction. A person in Uganda is free to do everything that he wants at any particular time, in any particular place. So he's a person worthy of being voted for.
And while the celebration has been loud, the criticism has been even louder and widespread. Starting with Bobi Wine. The singer turned politician has lost against Museveni for the second time, and his whereabouts remain unknown. Wine has put out a statement on X. He claimed that the military and police raided his home on the day of the result. Wine said that while he managed to escape the raid, his family was still under house arrest. Wine has also posted a video statement from hiding, slamming the election result. He accused Museveni of rigging the elections.
I was able to use my skills and escape my house, but I know they're looking for me. But even if they succeed and get me and do whatever, I want to say this to you, fellow Ugandans. First and foremost, we reject whatever is being declared by Mr. Ryabakama, because those so-called results that they're declaring are fake and they don't in any way reflect what happened at the polling stations. We also want to call upon the media, which has deliberately ignored what is happening in the country. There are widespread protests across the country, and there's widespread arrests and people are being killed. For example, in Butambala, at the house of Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi, 10 people were shot and killed in one house by the police.
The police have denied raiding Wine's home and said that he was still there. However, police blocked journalists from approaching Wine's compound. Election observers, too, have denounced the results. Analysts have called the polls a mere formality because Museveni has total control over the state and security apparatus. In the run-up to the elections, authorities also ordered an internet blackout.
Uganda enjoys media pluralism. However, the mission received reports of biased media coverage, with opposition parties receiving minimum coverage from both state and private media.
And after Museveni was declared the winner, the internet was restored yesterday, but the social media ban was still in place. The election is over. Museveni has been re-elected. His main opponent, Bobi Wine, is in hiding, and the freedom of speech of millions of Ugandans has still not been fully restored. Now the question remains, is Museveni the forever president of Uganda? Will he ever be replaced in his lifetime? And what does his seemingly unending rule mean for Uganda? And joining us to discuss this further is Wambui Nzigo, a political risk analyst at Control Risks, live from Nairobi, Kenya. Welcome to Firstpost Africa.
Thank you so much. A pleasure to be here.
Wambui, let's first look at this election. What does it say about democracy in Uganda?
Yes, so as you highlighted, the pre-election period was marked by suppression of opposition rallies, arbitrary arrests of opposition leaders and of their supporters. And then during the election, there was this internet shutdown, as well as restrictions on communications and live broadcasts of protests. And then the post-election period, we've seen a heavy police presence, a heavy-handed crackdown on opposition protesters. And what this says about the entire electoral season and the democratic environment in Uganda has been highlighted by civil society, by election observers as well, that there are concerns about human rights violations, limitations of civil liberties, and as well that the limitations on communications have called into question how free and fair the election was. This is a general perception from both Ugandan citizens as well as election observers.
Yes, and opposition leader Bobi Wine's current whereabouts is unknown. Where may he have gone, and what are his next steps after this second election defeat?
Yes, so Bobi Wine has said that he is in a safe location somewhere in Uganda, while the government opposes this and says that he is still in his house. We might not be able to specify exactly where he is located, but one thing is for sure, that he will continue to protest the election results, and he will use his social media platforms to mobilize his supporters to do the same. So on the back of this, we might see some protests from Bobi Wine supporters, but the security forces in Uganda will be sure to contain these protests and make sure that they don't become more widespread across the country. With the election results that are streaming in, it looks as if Bobi Wine's party, the NUP, has lost some of the seats in parliament, and this will reinforce the dominance of Museveni and the ruling party. And with their control of the state institutions as is, there will be very few avenues for Bobi Wine to be able to express his grievances. And this will be a challenge for him, even as he looks to respond to what he has termed as massive rigging and massive ballot stuffing in this election.
And to finish, I want to shift focus to Yoweri Museveni. Of course, with his stranglehold on power now, is he president for life? And given his age, he's now going to be ruling potentially until the age of 86. What comes next?
Yes, so there have been statements by government officials and by Museveni himself that this will be his last term. However, these statements have been made in the past, and given the fact that Museveni was able to do away with presidential term limits as well as age limits, we view it as likely that he will continue to seek re-election. And as for what happens once Museveni is no longer in the picture, it's widely believed that Museveni is grooming his son, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba, to take over from him. And there are several things that support this hypothesis. His senior rank in the military, where he has basically been put in charge of the military, his involvement in high-level discussions with Uganda's international partners, all of this support the notion that he's been groomed to take over. It remains to be seen whether this will be accepted by the Ugandan people. But one thing is for certain, and that is that having ruled Uganda for 40 years, a transition away from Museveni is one that will lead to a lot of uncertainty and potentially political instability. So this is something that is being closely watched both by Ugandan citizens and businesses, and something that is of great concern to them at the moment.
Wambui, thank you ever so much for your insights and your time.
Thank you so much.
The world doesn't fit in boxes, so why should your news? From battlefields to negotiation tables, from internet outrage to real-world injustice. The conversations everyone is having and the ones they're avoiding. It's the same show, but this new year, Firstpost America gets a new look. I'm Kerry Johnston, and this is Firstpost America.